Hello everybody. Today we are going to be going over the new Lunar update. This came out 2 days ago and I made a video, but I didn't really explain many of the new features. I mainly just showed the new visuals that came with the new update. Now we are on version 3.0.3, which happened in the past couple days, and now I would like to take the time to go over the main parts of this update. The first part that we were going to be going over is the design. So as you can see, they moved this quick play up here, and let me pull up the old Lunar launcher so I can show you a side-by-side comparison. So here is the old launcher. As you can see, the server is at the bottom, the server list underneath the launch button, and the tabs aren't on the side, they're on the top in the old launcher, as well as everything not being as rounded and simplified as it is in the new launcher. Now let's switch back to the new one. And as you notice, they have the online status, and they're all rounded, more simplified display. In fact, it's all much more stylish and probably up to the server what their banner looks like. This is at the top. You have quick play, you have your tabs on the side, all of the icons got a revamp. And now let's go over some of the more technical features. Something that changed both aesthetically and technically would be this Friends tab. You can now interact with your friends without signing on. I only have one friend, haven't seen him in a year, but if you have more friends or even just one, you'll be able to see them all right here, and you can view your friends list. It popped up another tab for me. You can't see it, but it's a very nicely styled tab, and I can interact with my friends here. In fact, let me show you guys. Here is the tab that I can interact with my friends on, and I can even add friends and manage my friend requests. Ooh, Game Night sent me a friend request. Now I have 2 friends. So that's another new feature. And another new feature would be the servers. The servers were always here, and it was always an option to boot into one of the servers. But now you can actually have an online status for the servers, and you can see more info on them. So if we go to our servers here, this is much more styled, and if you click here, you can view the server info as well as links, a short description, their icon, their name. You can play, and it shows the amount of players online and the status of the server. So, for instance, we could see how many people are on Hypixel right now. Here's Hypixel. 43,283 players are online on Hypixel right now. Another new feature is this notifications tab. You will now get notifications here when you get like maybe a message or changing a launcher version or stuff like that. And you also get system notifications like at the bottom of your screen over here when you launch a version or maybe close a version or when it starts running in the background. And um, another feature with this new launcher is this part right here. Right next to the notifications, you can change your account. So here I have my main account and my alt account. You can now change your account and link your Microsoft account all without even launching up Minecraft. So it'll do that all for you once you launch it up if you do it prior in the launcher. And this was not available in previous versions of the launcher. And this also adds way more integration of your Microsoft account into the launcher in this new version 3 update. Another new feature is the settings. Previously, we didn't have very many settings, but here we have a lot of settings. So I'm going to try and go over each setting for you guys. This might take a while, but stick around if you want to see all the new features. First of all, I'm currently in advanced mode. So if you remove that, there are only a few settings that are removed. So if you see here, we can choose the branch, and the branch, you should generally keep this to master. That will only give you the tested and validated branches that are known to work. So if I were to change this to experimental, then I will now get the ones that are still being tested and still in development. So if you want to try out new features, you should change that. But if you're not interested in having new features that might be buggy, then you should keep yours on master. Another advanced option is the game directory. The game directory for Minecraft is where all of your files are stored. That would be maybe even screenshots, your worlds, your settings like keybinds, your servers. All of that information is saved in your Minecraft folder. So by default, it's in the .minecraft if you're using Linux, and you can change this directory by clicking this button. And normally I'll have a different one for like 1.8.9 and a different one for the most recent version. And that way I can keep my mods separate because mods are do depend on which folder it is. Another one is hardware acceleration. Hardware acceleration basically means, do you want to use your graphics card or not? So if you have a graphics card, you should enable this. If you think that you don't need hardware acceleration, like you have a really good CPU, or for some reason you think your graphics card just would make it worse somehow, then you might want to disable this. If you just don't really want to use your graphics card at all for Minecraft, you would disable this. But for me, I'll enable it. I don't even have a good graphics card, but I still enable it, and I think that's one of the reasons that I use Lunar, so that it can boost my performance. Because overall, hardware acceleration should boost your performance. And the last advanced setting is enable animations. Whether all animations should be enabled, disabling can help with performance. So if you disable these, it'll disable all the animations before you even launch up the game. I'm pretty sure you can disable most, if not all, animations in the game as part of Lunar settings, or at least Optifine settings, but now you can do it from the launcher in the advanced settings tab. Off of the advanced mode, we have some features that were existing here. We have our RAM dedication. You can dedicate RAM. I recommend not dedicating more than half of your RAM, as that can cause problems for your system. And RAM will basically allow you to load more chunks and more game data. And if you're having trouble with loading into worlds, if it's taking too long, or you are having trouble with your render distance, then I would recommend allocating more RAM. But usually, you don't need very much to run like Bed Wars, which is the main game I play. And you don't need a very big render distance. You can probably run on 4 gigs, but I tend to allocate almost 8 gigabytes to all of my game versions. Another option that was already here was your game resolution. You can change your game resolution, and it was really confusing when you would change this. Like one time I changed this so that it would be in 4K, even though I don't have a 4K monitor, and I would just want to get it back to normal. So right now, I have this kind of stretched out for you guys. You can view presets and then you can change it. So right now the preset is this one, 854 by 480. That's the default for my screen, 16 by 9. And that was always there. You can also have the option to launch it in full screen when you launch the game. This is the resolution for the game, not the launcher. After the game is launched, this was also here. This is the last setting here that was already on the launcher, but you can choose to either hide or keep your launcher open. The default is to hide it, but if for some reason you want to have the launcher open in the background, then that's also an option. Next, we have language. I guess you weren't previously able to change your language, but now you have a lot of language options, which is great for people who have trouble speaking English or would prefer it in a different language. Computer startup. So this determines if your launcher will start when your computer starts. This is common on most apps, and I'm going to disable it because when I launch my computer up, I'm not always wanting to play Minecraft. Then we also have Discord rich presence, whether your game status should be shown on Discord. So if you want your friends to know you're playing so they'll join you, or if you don't want your friends to know you're playing, you want to make sure people don't tell your parents you're playing video games, then you can change this Discord rich presence. A lot of these are new features are already enabled, and some of them you have to disable manually. For example, exit to dock. But first, let's go over navigate home on launch. Whether the launcher should navigate to the home page on launch. So this means every time you start this, will it start in this home page, or will it start where you left off? I preferably like it to start on the home page, so I'm going to keep that enabled. Exit to dock. This was annoying me, so I had to disable this. But basically, when you close this, in the new version, instead of actually closing, like completely killing the program, it will actually exit into a little, like if you see right down here on your screen, you can't see it on mine, but they're little icons for apps you have running in the background. For instance, maybe Steam is running in the background if you have Steam. Well, now when you close Lunar, it'll keep running in the background. I don't see the point in having a launcher running in the background, so I disabled this, but feel free to keep it enabled. I don't think it really serves any purpose besides maybe having quicker launch times if that's an issue for you, like just opening the launcher, not launching your game. Tooltips. Weather Launcher will display helpful tooltips on hover. I'm not sure if you guys can see the helpful tooltips on hover when I hover over things. I haven't even seen any yet. But supposedly when you hover over certain things, like here versions, servers, I think maybe it's talking about that. Like open in browser. That would be a helpful tooltip. I'm going to keep that enabled because it's a great accessibility option. Notification settings, playing notifications. So here are the notifications I was talking about earlier. Here we have a notification when a friend starts playing Minecraft. So whenever one of my friends starts playing Minecraft, it's going to send a notification to my computer down here. Like on my computer, no matter what app I have open, it's going to say like game night started playing Minecraft. Here we have closing notifications. So every time I close the program, it is going to send a notification to my computer that I closed the background, but it's still running in the background. That I closed the launcher, but still running in the background. Then we have the update notification. This sends notification when a launcher update is ready. Usually, I just update it when I start the launcher. It just updates really fast, so I don't see the point in this notification. It was automatically disabled, but if you would like to have an update when an update is ready, if you would like to have a notification when an update is ready, you can feel free to enable this. I'm going to keep it disabled. Show new indicators, whether new indicators show on blogs, cosmetics, and others. So this will show you probably on the news or servers, or have implemented new indicators for different different store and news things, I assume. I haven't really played around with that yet. An operating system, whether OS notifications will appear when launcher is out of focus. OS notification would be a system notification about something else. For instance, if you have Discord and someone messages you on Discord, that might be an OS notification. Now this is saying, will they appear when the launcher is out of focus, meaning you're not using the launcher, like if I click off of it. OS notifications as in these ones. This says if these notifications are going to be displayed while your launcher is out of focus. And for a lot of these, they'll only display if your launcher is out of focus. So it makes sense to enable this if you're going to want to keep these enabled. And that is all. But I also want to go over this right here. We do have this new thing. You could always see your version, but now you can actually see things like your install ID, session ID, and exact version instead of having to look in the corner like this. And this is very helpful for debugging. And another helpful for debugging or for developers is to open logs in File Manager and check for updates. They also have all of these forms that are available, these licensings and terms of service. So you can look at those if you're wondering. It's mainly legal stuff. All right, and really quick before I end the video, I want to show you this just because I didn't show the page. And if you click both of these, they will send you to a web browser. And that's all. I hope you learned something about the new update. And if there's anything I missed, feel free to drop it in the comments. I will leave a link to all of this in the description. There is a page on Lunar's website, and I will link that in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye.